Hello class and welcome to week 4. As you may have noticed, we're jumping around the textbook a little bit. We're not following it in order, and we're not going to hit all the chapters in the textbook. I would encourage you to read all of the textbook, even the parts that are not assigned to you for reading, because it's a good book and it has a lot of good information about forensic psychology. But this is only a survey course, and in a survey course you can't possibly cover everything. And while it would be tempting to give you all like 3 chapters a week to read and all that stuff, I don't think you would learn as well that way. So I'm trusting that you're going to read other parts of the book that you might find interesting. This week we are reading chapter 2, jumping back to chapter 2, and this is about confessions, interrogations, and also false confessions. It's a really interesting chapter. It starts by talking about the Central Park jogger case from 1989, where 5 young men confessed to raping and nearly killing a young woman who was jogging in Central Park. They confessed, and they did, I believe, close to 12 or 13 years in prison because, excuse me, I'm trying to lecture and I have a cat here walking around. The Sorry about that. They were in prison, and then somebody finally confessed to the rape, and it was determined that none of them could have possibly committed it, even though 5 of them confessed to doing it and gave detailed confessions. And one would wonder, why does someone confess to a crime? Now, we do know from this particular case that these young boys were kept away from their families. They were interrogated for many, many hours on end. They were really young. They didn't understand their rights. The police lied to them, which is perfectly legal in the United States. Police can lie to someone that they're interrogating. That's not legal in England or in some other countries, but it is legal here. They did not have a social worker present, which is a requirement in some countries, including England. Lots of reasons why these guys confessed to something they didn't do. But in 2002, they were released from prison when it was determined that they could not have done the rape. Sometimes people confess to things because they want fame. Other times they're delusional and they actually think that they did something that they didn't do. But more often than not, confessions are forced or coerced by the police. Now, one of the goals of law enforcement is to get a confession and to find out who committed a crime. So the police use what's called the REID, R-E-I-D technique, which is a 9-point technique that is based on 4 principles. And you'll read about that in the chapter as well. I'm not going to go through all of that with you right now. But that is sort of the gold standard still today of interrogating suspects in a crime, the REID technique. Interrogations are much worse before the 1930s. There was torture routinely practiced by police throughout the United States. Torture and beatings until there was a confession. In 1930, there were laws passed that prevented that, although there was still a lot of coercion. And in 1966, the Miranda law was passed, and so now everyone who is investigating the United States has to agree that they understand the Miranda rights, or they can waive their Miranda rights. Now, some do waive their Miranda rights because they feel that they're innocent and they don't need the rights. And again, that's all in the textbook for you. So go ahead and read the chapter and follow the learning module instructions. The other thing is just a reminder that all of you who have not yet submitted your wiki articles for approval need to do that right away. There aren't many of you, but there are a couple of you that have not done that yet. And it's important that you get approval now so that you can start working on it. You can start reading the article anytime. You can post it to the wiki anytime. You don't have to wait until the final week of class to do it. So please get those articles into me, and if you have any questions about them, drop me an email, which is the best way to get a hold of me. So enjoy week 4, and at the end of this week, we will be halfway through the course, believe it or not. Have a good week.